In a previous video, I was showing how loud one of the fans on my H2D printer was. Some of you savvy viewers pointed out the fan is most likely going bad. So I reached out to Bambu Lab and sure enough, confirmed the Hotend cooling fan was going bad. In this video, I show you how to replace the Hotend cooling fan, along with some of the mistakes I made along the way, so hopefully you don't make the same ones. But first, how do you know a hot end cooling fan is going bad? I set the hot end temperature manually to 150 degrees on my H2D and listened for the fan to kick on. This is what it sounded like. After replacing the hot end cooling fan, this is what a new cooling fan sounds like. Now, I will warn you, this does take some time and patience to accomplish. It took me the better part of an afternoon to get through. Okay, to get started, you'll need the new cooling fan kit from Bambu Lab, a 1.5 hex bit, a 2.0 hex bit, and in this particular case, one that's more of an Allen key version that is magnetized. Tweezers or pry bar, fingernails, long fingernails work as well. Yes, I apologize in advance for the undesirably long fingernails, but they make small connectors more manageable. Now, before getting started, make sure that you turn off and unplug your H2D printer. You don't want the electricity going where it shouldn't go. Okay, so to get started, we remove the 4 screws from the part cooling ductwork. After you remove those 4 screws, you can gently pull the duct down to remove the cooling duct. From there, we remove the screws from the part cooling fan, the top 2 being longer than the bottom 2. And once you have all those screws removed, you can slowly pull the fan away from the print head. Notice there is one cable attached for the fan. You can pull that out a little bit, remove the tape that's covering the connector, and then to remove it from the board, do not pull along the length of the cable like this. Pull away from the board like this. Next up, we remove a couple of ribbon cables by toggling or flipping down these little latches, and the ribbon cables just sort of fall out afterwards. And then on the right-hand side here, we have this foam tape that I misread on how to remove this. I start removing it from the top down, trying to preserve the integrity of the foam as best I could. However, if you look where the actual connector is that's being held on by that foam, it's on the lower right-hand corner. I would have been better suited to remove that from the bottom right-hand corner rather than the way I did. Another ribbon cable at the bottom of the hot end assembly. And then 2 screws to remove this back circuit board from the hot end assembly. After doing so, you can just wiggle this board. I wiggled it up and down and then left and right, and it eventually came off with that foam still stuck to it along with that one connector, and I just let that dangle down for the remainder of the install. Then we have several ribbon connectors on the top, on the left, and on the right that you can just pry open with a tool or your fingernail. On the bottom right, there's another connector like that fan that we just removed, where you want to take some tape off, and then you pull the connector away from the board, not along the length of the wires. And it comes off relatively easily. The next connector over is a little bit like a ribbon cable, but it does have a latch that opens, and then the cable itself has some geometry that makes it fit in precisely into the crevice of that latch. That'll be important for when we reconnect this. Another cable that we took the tape off of and we pull away from the board. These are a couple more types of cables that have sort of detents that they can fall into inside that latch. They're not quite as simple as a ribbon cable, but they're very close to how a ribbon cable works. You'll notice the white and blue ribbon on the top left actually falls out during the filming of this process. I don't know why you need to disconnect that from the board. I just saved it and put it back in later. You'll notice 2 screws that need to get removed on the top left and top right. And just a heads up, I forgot to remove the connector that is on the left-hand side of this assembly. So you'll see when I twist this chain to be able to start pulling this part out, I totally ignore the fact that there is a connection there that I forgot. So before I did any damage, I was able to remove the tape and then remove that connector, just like how the fan connector and some of those others where you pull away from the board. From there, I was actually able to get this circuit board out of the way and actually for the first time see the Hotend cooling fan that we are going to be replacing. So from here, we want to pull this taped ribbon cable down and away because we need to pull off this access cover that it's actually attached to. You can pry off that access cover with your tool. Once we have that off, we have a couple of hard to reach screws. These screws do have a little bit of Loctite on the end, which means they take a little bit of force before they actually snap free. So don't be afraid to use just a little bit of additional force when trying to get these screws loose. From there, it's a task of delicately sliding out the Hotend cooling fan assembly. Being careful not to tug too much on any of the cables. And then here you can actually listen to what the cooling fan that I just removed compared to the new cooling fan. Okay, so I fish the one ribbon cable through the hole and start reinstalling the new Hotend cooling fan. This cable just kind of goes through that hole that has the access cover we'll be installing here in a minute. Bambu Lab supplies new screws for these areas. They have a little bit of red Loctite at the end. Loctite helps prevent screws from loosening over time. And snap on this access cover again and start reassembling the first of the 2 circuit boards. Just being careful not to pinch any wires. Make sure all the wires are still accessible once you put the board on. And then you can attach the top 2 screws. From there, it's a matter of delicately reinserting all of the ribbon cables. I started with the blue one, probably didn't need to remove this from the secondary board. Install the top ribbon cable. Followed by the one on the right. And then I slide some of the ribbon in just to keep it out of the way. I press these connectors on at the bottom. And then these bottom 3 connectors with the flaps, you can think of it like putting on a shoe. You kind of have to slip it in, seat it down, and then you tie it by pushing down the latch. Then another cable that we just push into the board. And then 2 more of those shoe-like ribbon cables that you sort of slide in and then put down the latch. We install tape on all the connectors that had tape on them originally. And then we slide on the other circuit board and connect all those ribbon cables. Install the 2 screws. And lastly, install the fan, again by just pushing the cable into the board. And putting a piece of electrical tape over that connector. Just install the 4 screws on the cooling fan, reinstall the cooling duct, and that's all there is to it. I hope your replacement went smoothly, and I hope this video helped out with that. Thanks again to all the viewers who noticed that the fan might have been going out. It's hard to tell that sometimes when you only have a sample size of 1 printer to understand what is and is not normal. If this was helpful, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.